Hey guys, welcome back to another layout update. I know it's been about a month since I've done my last one, so I'm starting to think this is going to be a monthly thing. So you'll have to just stay tuned. I'll have to look every month for each installment of a layout update. I'll still be doing regular rail fanning videos, and I still have a lot to do, and I know recently I've just posted a lot. Alright, so first off, here we have my CEFX switcher SW1000 that I got a little while back. I have gone ahead and installed a DCC chip in it to digitrax DH123 something something, and I'd have to say it was really easy to install. It came with a decoder which is right in the cab. I didn't have to shorten any of the wires. It was a really easy job to do. The only resoldering I had to do was for the motor clips, being as though the motor clips are smaller on the actual locomotive than it is on what they give you. So that's the actual first project I've completed, and really happy with, and it runs really smoothly, and I'm really happy with it. I have to adjust the start voltage because it gets going around speed step 5, but I'm not too fussy. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to it. And I did have awesomerailfan fix we'll do some work on these decoders so they work smoother. And as you can see there, I do have a directional light for when the locomotive's in reverse. Alright, so next up I have over here is my brand new Santa Fe. Actually, I don't know what this is. It looks like a GP38, except for it's got the middle radiator fan that kind of flares out more on one side than it does on the other. And I'm not quite sure. Might be like a GP38-2 or GP40. I honestly don't know. It usually says it on the side, but the only thing it says on the side here is bar stove. If I can get this to focus. No, it doesn't want to. I usually have a tripod I use for this, and I just found it recently, and I accidentally forgot it in the back of awesomerailfan's mom's truck, so I'm gonna have to get that back. And, well, that's where I think I left it. Alright, so this in fact has been put on the old frame I had for my CP GP40-2, which was fixed by awesomerailfan. I thought the decoder was actually toast and I would have to rip it out, but thankfully I didn't, and now this locomotive runs pretty good. The start voltage is kind of fast, that's speed step 1, but the momentum change, the direction change is done perfectly. So definitely really impressed with what he did. Big thanks to him. If you have any questions, I definitely ask him. He's starting to get more knowledge in this than I am. So, some things that I have got for this locomotive are the Details West Amy hoses in a cluster 4 set. I was going to originally use these in the Dash 9, but it turns out there's too many of them to actually fit through the plow itself, which I will show you in a minute. So those are the current locomotives I have working, and you may have been able to see that I don't actually have my BNSF on the layout because I finally sent it off to get repaired, and hopefully that'll be back really soon. And I do have a train show coming up this weekend, so I want you to hopefully I'll have a part 2 to this layout update to show you guys. Alright, so let's go move over to the projects. Alright, so first off, I do have a more modernized grain hopper that is going to be added into my grain train itself. It's a CP grain hopper. It's a 4427 PS2 CD high side covered hopper. And I only remember that is because I was looking behind me on a sheet, which I'll get to in a second. This is the first of 2. I have them in 2 different row numbers, and they were both a kit. Because as you can see right here, I have that in place. I know it doesn't look best, but it's not actually glued in place yet, unlike some other parts on this. It's a Proto 2000 kit, and I must say I am very much enjoying these kits. I always like to have something to do on my layout. I like building my own rolling stock. And the detail on this one in particular is really good for plastic, that is. So you can actually have a brake line running down the length of it. I had to feed it around the trucks and frame on both ends. I did all these separate brake work in there, and I'm very happy with the way that turned out. Still gotta fine-tune this and finish it off. I have to add on all the ladders on all the other three corners and glue them on the tops of these, and I still have to glue that down. I mean, normally when I did this on one of my first cars, the top came off. It was looking really ugly, so I'm gonna fix that up, and I was quite happy with the way this turned out. I've got more detail parts. I've got there's a walkway that goes on the end of this one right there, and it's the same deal on this side. I'd have to put those on. So this is one of two. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like in a second when it's not built. Well, and another addition that my other grain hoppers have, but not separately applied detail, and I'll just show you on my BNSF grain hopper and my Conrail hopper. If I can grab this quickly. Alright, so to show you guys what I was talking about, on the top of this particular car, these, let me get something pointy here. Okay, these particular parts that run across the top, the locking pin maybe, and the piece that runs across the top of the locking pin were separately applied. Hopefully the camera will focus for you. So yeah, these were separately applied, and so were the pieces that went across this. And I was really pleased with the way this turned out. And as you can see, it has those on this, but they're not as good looking. I mean, for this kit, sorry, not for this kit, but for this particular model, I'm going to end up cutting this off and putting on a brass walkway, make it look better. Do the same for that one and this one, so they actually work better. Well, sorry, they look better, not work better. And moving on to the next item, I have 4 projects going on right now, 4 repaint projects, 3 of which are of my own at the current moment, and 1 is for awesomerailfan. So these 2, the GP40-2 and my GP30, I'm not quite sure what it's going to dash at, because it doesn't have a middle fan part. And I'm hoping to get them both flared. I'm going to paint this one up in the Burlington Northern scheme, and I'm going to paint the one up behind it in the BNSF scheme. And I'll have this one patched, and I'll also have that Santa Fe patched. So I'll keep you guys updated on those. And first off, I have more work done on my Dash 9. I did do some paint work on it, and I wasn't happy with the way it was turning out, so I decided to strip it again. And I'll keep you guys posted on that project as well as the more goes on. But as I was saying, for the plow, these MU doors that are open, and this is the correct plow, by the way, they are too small to fit a cluster 4 set through it, so I'm going to get a cluster 3 and see if that'll fit, and then if not, I'll get a cluster 2, or maybe just bend back one of the 3s on it. I haven't actually gotten any other details for this, including ditch lights. Unfortunately, I got the wrong ones at the train show. They were for EMD locomotives, so I'm going to go ahead and use those on a different locomotive. Right. Alright, so let me just switch this stuff up here, put that back here, and bring this forward. This is a SD40-2 I am doing for awesomerailfan. I'm repainting it up in the CEFX scheme, which I have the decals for, done by Highball Graphic Decals. Got them for $11 total, and I'm gonna probably do them in the number 3111 or 3109, and hopefully he can pick which one he wants done. And there's a diagram on the back that I'm going to use to do it. And the only thing I have to get more for this is I have to get a proper well, I have to get the correct paint, and I also have to get a few more details for it. And I'm also going to be giving him a light board upgrade, because this is a Bachmann engine. That's why it's yellow and kind of cheaply done. So I'm going to do an upgrade to that, and I'm also going to put the ditch lights down on here, and as well as paint up the trucks and such, which I have stripped over here. So that is about it for projects. For another completed project, as you can see in the background, I have a working signal. There I Osborne model kit, I believe, something or other. I don't exactly remember what they're called, but I have a three-headed one as well right here. It's just about done. I've soldered the wires on one side, but I haven't actually finished doing it on the other side. I've been kind of lazy doing this, so I've just basically packaged it all up here. I was going to do a how-to video on this, but unfortunately someone kept photobombing me and kind of ruined it. So on the next signal kit I do, if I ever do one, I will do a video on that, on what you need, what you are going to need to do for it. So this signal does change, but unfortunately the green light stopped working, so I'm going to see what's wrong with that, and then I'll have it so it works with this particular turnout when it's wired in. That when it changes over to this, it'll be red, and when it switches to this, it'll be green, and I'll have this switch back here corresponding with it. Alright, so let's go behind me here, and I'll show you what else I've been up to. So first off, this is the kit I was talking to you about. As you can see, it is pretty bare in detail, and you gotta put stuff in all of these. And on the other side is where all the brake stuff goes. And the details are pretty extensive in what it makes you do. Just open it up and show you what I mean. Here is most of the top and bottom decals for it, as well as the truck brake lines on one end. And it's also got the locking pieces I was telling you about. I have the instructions that I was reading off of earlier right there, and I also have the same ones pinned up right behind me, so I can actually look up and read it, so I'm not constantly flipping through it. So these are just some of the details for it. I mean, there's quite a few decal pieces to apply to it. It's pretty fun. I got both of these kits for $10 each, so it was a really good price for them. And since I got this at the Newcastle Flea Market train show, and you can consider it a train show since they did have one display. But yeah, this is really good. I quite enjoyed it. And yeah, it's $10. It's upside down. And moving on, there is the current frame for the black locomotive that I was working on, the GP30. Here's something I've never quite shown you before, is that I actually made a cradle for them. So when I actually build the car, I can just take this, set it in there, work around it, and not have to worry about damaging any of the decals. I just built this shortly before I sent off my BNSF locomotive. And as you can see behind me, I still have a large number of decals to apply to that other grain car. There's most of the ladders, the actual see-through plastic grills, sorry, not grills, walkways on them. I've already had the other one cut out and I'm trying to get it to go on. And as well as the grab irons that go in specific places. As for that, and there's a few more grab irons, but as for that, that's just basically all of it. This is where I also do a lot of my painting and paint stripping. So, it's a really pretty good workout area. And that is about it for this layout update. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for another layout update around late Saturday or Sunday. If not, maybe Monday. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more.